G'day legends, welcome back to episode 5 of Chasing Better with Knoxy. I'm here with the lovely Miss Sammy Cooke. How are you, champ?
Not too bad.
Good. So she is going to be sharing her incredible story. She's been training with us at TBC here in Mandurah for the last probably, I think she did about 6 months when we first started. Had some stuff she had to deal with, so she wasn't able to train for a bit there. She's come back recently in the last couple of months. And has seen some massive gains, which is what we're all about. So we're going to dive into her story of how she's chased down better in her own path, which is really exciting. And hopefully you can get some inspiration out of this, guys. We love giving everyday people that ability to share their stories of how they've gone from zero to hero, so to speak. And it's really cool. We're getting massive feedback. So again, thanks to everyone out there for the support as always, and we'll dive into it. So yeah, Sammy, tell us a bit more about what was life like for you as a kid? Have you always been into training? Like, what's the kind of background story there?
As a kid, I loved sport.
Yep.
Played a lot of sport on the streets at home, and then joined clubs. Sport was always my favourite at school.
Mm-hmm.
I moved here from the UK.
Yep.
Got into the wrong crowd, and it kind of all just slipped away.
Yep.
Into drinking and.
When did you? How long were you in the UK for?
Moved here when I was 14.
14. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, what was life like growing up in the UK as a kid? Obviously, sports-wise was massive. So, would have been like football, like soccer and stuff like that, or what was the go?
I played a lot of hockey,
Yep.
Netball. Sport, I don't know if you know what rounders is.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, we used to play that a lot, and just like a lot of running.
Yeah, awesome. So now you're a mum of a couple of awesome little kids. So
Awesome.
yeah, they come into the gym all the time, guys. It's crazy. But how would you kind of compare the lifestyle you're able to offer them here in Oz versus being a kid growing up in the UK? Do you see that there's any major differences from that availability of being able to, be a part of clubs and stuff like that, or is it kind of on par, or
massively different. I think there's just more quality of life here for them. Obviously, being on my own, I can't afford every club under the sun. But
that's understandable.
if they want to do football, or like Aaliyah does dancing, things like that, there's a lot more to offer here, I think. Yeah.
So a bit more opportunity and variety.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and also obviously the weather's better over here most of the time, so things don't get cancelled, and like they do over there. Like if the weather's too bad, it gets cancelled. So.
Yeah, nice, because it's always grey, right? Yeah. No, that's cool. So awesome, man. So when you were you an outgoing kid? Do you find that was like you very
definitely.
talkative and chatty and all that sort of stuff? Yeah. So did you find it difficult to make new friends and stuff like that as a kid, or like did that change at all when you came to Oz? Like obviously that would have been a pretty big culture shock.
Definitely changed coming here. I went from having like a massive circle of friends over there to knowing nobody here. We had no family, no friends, nothing.
Yep.
I did find it hard going into high school because I went straight into high school. People weren't that kind.
Yeah.
Especially because I was from the UK, I had an accent. I was different.
Yeah. You're the alien, right?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say bullied. But people weren't all that nice to me at the start, and like I say, I fell into the wrong crowd and kind of went a bit backwards with my grades and things like that, because I initially wanted to be a sports teacher.
Okay.
When I was younger.
Yeah, awesome.
And then that kind of went down the drain here.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get the grades that I needed.
So how did that affect you moving on occupation-wise as growing into an adult? Like you're doing a form of teaching now?
Yes, an education assistant with special needs children.
Awesome.
I didn't actually, kind of fell into it.
Yep.
A friend of mine has been doing it, and she said, just do it. I did the course, and straight after my course I got work, so.
Yeah. So you must find that that's a pretty rewarding job, like for yourself, like not necessarily monetarily, but I think from that sense of fulfillment, obviously working with special needs kids, like
definitely,
what's the go there?
You help them reach their goals a lot. Even the small things, being able to write or read, just the small things, you celebrate every little thing with them.
Yeah.
It's definitely rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you find like you've grown a lot since taking on that role as a job? Like, do you find you're a lot more understanding of people in general? Because obviously you had a background of, you know, a bit of bullying and stuff in school, which obviously kids can be brutally honest at the best of times. Like, do you find that that's helped you kind of develop as a person as you grown up?
Yeah, I'd say I'm a lot more patient.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to teach my kids to be patient. You know, little kids, you see someone in the supermarket that's a bit different.
Yeah.
Kids will stare and ask questions, and I'll answer them honestly. And my daughter comes to work with me because she goes to the school that I work at.
Yeah.
So she's around it all the time now. So she doesn't point or stare or anything like that now. So I feel like that's definitely a good thing.
Awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I've definitely.
Great. Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah. I mean, it's really awesome to hear that from my point of view, like being a coach myself, helping you guys every day in the gym, like hit goals and find that better and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's super rewarding. That's why I love what I do. But it's kind of interesting to hear it from your point of view in terms of the world that we know at the moment. Is obviously there's a lot of hate going around, and I feel a lot of that comes from fear of the unknown. And a lot of that comes from judging before actually knowing someone. Yeah. Which in your case, I'm guessing when you were a new, what would you say? When you were new at your role with being an education assistant, like it must have been pretty challenging at times to kind of find that patience, I suppose.
Definitely. There's been times where I have had to just go and take a breather.
Yeah.
There's been times where I've said, oh, geez, I'd never let my kids do this.
Yeah.
But it's not a case of allowing it. It's a case of just changing that behaviour, shaping the behaviour, teaching them better ways to deal with things. Yes.
So how have you seen that work with training, for example? So obviously when you're picking up new skills, so patience and things like that, when you're in the gym, for example,
I don't actually have that much patience. Yeah.
Would you find that that's like, how do you deal with picking up new skills, for example? So obviously you've learned a lot of training techniques and things since you've been training with us. Like, were there moments, even day one, for example, like what was going through your head going, oh, I'm not used to this, this is completely out of my comfort zone, or where were you, what were your feelings on day one?
I'll admit I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And not come back.
Yeah.
It was difficult, and I feel I have to compare myself to everyone else. I hate not being as good as someone else. It's difficult and it makes me angry. But I need to learn to just not give up. And I think I am getting there.
Yeah. So do you see that as a competitive streak from obviously having a heavy sport involvement as a kid?
Yes.
Like you're constantly
I'm
having to be...
very competitive. I'm a sore loser.
Yep.
I will admit that.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. And I mean, another thing that I'm constantly talking to the members about, and even just mates of mine in general when I'm giving them some advice on life things, life skills, is that comparison game. And so many people get caught in that going, well, I'm not Harrison Ford, star of all these Star Wars movies. I've been a legend for 40 years. And it's like, cool, how do I ever get that cool? Or like, how do I get to be as good as Usain Bolt, like the fastest man on the planet? Like literally has that title for the rest of his life, potentially. It's like, or strongest woman on the planet, or whatever you want to be, or world's best mum, right? Like that's something that would resonate with you. I'm sure you see mums that have got YouTube channels, and it's like, oh bloody, I'm never going to be that good, or she's so organised, or whatever. But I can guarantee, as soon as they get off the camera, it's like, oh my god, there's rubbish everywhere.
Behind the scenes,
yeah. So it's kind of like that. The thing I normally talk about is that constant highlight reel. And people never see past that.
The social media.
Exactly. So a really cool thing of why I love like showing bloopers when I'm filming ads, for example, and stuff like that is like you get to see the real person. Yeah. Like I'm growing as a business owner, and like you guys are growing as clients or as potential athletes, right? Like I love walking into the gym every day and seeing that you guys like trying to talk to you as if you are potential athletes. Like that's a cool part of our day as well. Is it kind of brings you guys up onto a pedestal and up onto a higher standard, and that's where sometimes you'll be like, oh no, I actually do feel really good today, like because I did achieve that little win. And like I suppose what's been your kind of biggest win since training with us? Because I know day one you said you wanted to leave and never come back, and was that more of you were afraid you were never going to be good enough, or was it more you were just nervous and scared, or like what would you attach that to?
I'm very much a nervous person as it is.
Yep.
But I suppose it was just fear of failure, not being able to progress the way I have been. And day one, I didn't think I'd be even squatting with a bar, anything like that. I didn't see myself ever being able to do any of that.
Yeah.
But it just takes working on it.
Yeah. And so, like, what would be your best tip for someone out there that's had that experience of day one? That day one of I've joined a gym, or I've started a new job, or whatever the case may be, or it's day one of being a parent, right? Like, you know, what would be your kind of number one tip of like getting through day one and getting to day two and then going again? Like, what would you suggest?
Don't give up.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. Really.
Yeah.
Just keep going back. It can be scary. It can be horrible. Painful even.
Yeah.
But don't give up.
Yeah, awesome.
You have to try something for long enough.
Yeah.
Before saying it's not for you.
Yeah, awesome. And I mean, you saw massive results. I think it was like 7 or 8 kilos you lost with us originally when you were first training with us.
It was more than that.
Actually, more than that. Yeah. So I mean, like, you saw the gains and the progress and all that sort of stuff. And when do you think it was that you started to feel, all right, I'm actually achieving something here? Like, when did that kind of tick over? Because that's sometimes that kind of turning point where people go, oh, actually, I could stick at this. Like, when do you feel that kind of kicked in?
Honestly, probably the best moment for me was when I was in having a chat with either you or Katie, and Aaliyah was messing around my phone, and she took a picture of me, and I didn't know she was taking it.
Yep.
And I actually wasn't disgusted at what I saw.
Okay.
So for me, it's like what I can see.
Yep. Ladies are visual creatures, we know that. Yeah, they love shiny things. Yeah.
So that was a massive thing for me, and that was enough motivation for me to keep going.
Perfect.
But also just how strong I was getting.
Yeah, nice.
Being able to lift things that I never thought I would be able to do.
Yeah. And I suppose like that is a really cool thing I love to share with ladies, especially because they walk in day one, and a lot of the time they rely on their partner or their teenage boys to, you know, or their kids or whatever to help them out with everything, right? It's like, oh, I'm poor mum and I'll never be able to do that and I'll always come second, right? And I suppose like you talk now, even just today, like you talk as an empowered woman, not just a lady that's nervous and shy and, you know, can't go out and about and all that sort of stuff and actually enjoy day-to-day life. So I mean, that's a massive shift, which is really cool to see. And I think the best thing for you is to like now own that in your stride. I mean, even like seeing you now training in the gym, like you converse with everyone as if you're just part of the crew. Like it's no longer a comparison thing.
Definitely gained a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
But I think that comes with losing 25 kilos. Like you're definitely going to gain some confidence from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I feel like it's a much nicer place to be when everyone gets along.
Exactly.
Going in there and not talking to anyone, standing in the corner, it's not going to be a nice experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone there is so friendly.
Yeah.
So it's
awesome.
Easy.
Shout out to the Tribe crew. You guys rock, by the way. But yeah, so I mean, that's awesome to see that massive growth. And I mean, to probably kind of finish it off, I suppose, like we've seen huge changes physically, obviously some massive mental health changes there as well, which is great.
100%.
Which is fantastic. I mean, I could list off the benefits of just getting training and better food into you, like off my arm, no worries. But like, what would be probably your 3 biggest highlights or benefits you found of just sticking at it and actually making those lifestyle changes? Like, what do you feel?
The top one would have to be confidence.
Yeah.
That's just, it makes every day better.
Yeah.
I can get out of bed and leave the house and not feel like I'm being stared at, or even though people aren't, but when you don't feel good about yourself, that's how you feel, I guess. Another one, just being able to keep up with kids.
Yeah. Okay.
When you're only 5'2" and almost 100 kilos, it doesn't go down when you can't move well. I just feel a lot more able to just do anything.
Yeah.
Not even lifting things, just walking with the kids, running around with the kids. Yeah, it's just made everything easier like that.
Because Troy, your little one, is crazy at times.
Yeah, little menace.
Yeah.
And form friendships. So you have people that have the same goals in common. Like I have friends outside of the gym, but I can't sit there and talk to them about lifting and eating and calories and things like that because it bores them. They're not where I'm at. So it's nice to have people that are in the same position as me. So
with that, like I love to ask the question of, do you feel, or have you, or are you aware of anyone that you have actually inspired through your own journey? Like, have you had people go, oh man, I really should have a look at what I'm doing, or like, you've really inspired me? Because Twee messaged me last night and was like, man, since getting people watching her podcast the other week, like she's had 3 people reach out and go, you have just changed my whole view of like what life day to day should be. You know, because she talked massively about the whole, you know, what was it? Always trying to be someone she wasn't. She always held back and all that sort of stuff. You know, she's getting some massive feedback from that, which is fantastic.
That's great.
So I mean, have you had that experience? Are you finding that with anyone around you?
When I initially dropped a lot of weight, I had a couple of people message me and ask me how I've done it and what did I do. But I think people always want the answer of a magic pill. So the people that ask me, they haven't really gone anywhere with it. You have to be in the right place to be able to do.
They still don't value it, right?
So it's too hard for them. I have one friend who I talk a lot about it with because she's just had a baby and she really wants to get back to where she was because she lost a lot of weight before. So we do talk, and a lot of the things that I tell her, or like if you send me videos, I send them to her just to show her. So yeah, that's really, it helps her. Yeah,
awesome. So, I mean, a massive win for you, man, is huge transformation. Like, you're looking fantastic. You're strong as hell. I think you had, 75 kgs on the bar last night, you know, on your deadlifts and stuff like that.
Now too, so I worked that out when I got home and I was pretty happy with that.
So you're lifting over body weight, so that's awesome. And I mean, the greatest thing really is when you're able to then lead that on to others. I think that's the most powerful and most fulfilling thing you can do in life, is be able to lead someone else to better as well. So massive high five up top, champ. Love your work. Thank you for coming on today. It's been really, really cool to hear your story and your journey so far. Yeah, that's all right. And I know this is completely out of your comfort zone, as it will be for most of the people that come on here. But that's cool. So yeah, massive thing, guys. I'll be dropping her socials on, so she's huge on Instagram. You'll be seeing all the videos we tag her in as well, looking strong and stuff, so that's great. And yeah, if you wanted to reach out to her about mum advice and all that sort of stuff, I'm sure she's always open for a chat. As you can see now, she loves chatting about being the better her. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in, team. As always, we'll have another one dropping next week, and we'll speak soon. That's it, man.